Who created Bitcoin? Online magazines list verse, UK, and grunge of the US have just updated the latest information to answer. What is Bitcoin? The truth about Bitcoin from the perspective of science and money. Some people think that Bitcoin was inspired by the financial crisis of 2007 to 2008. And at least one person claims to have invented Bitcoin, but so far there is no conclusive proof. According to the Open Encyclopedia, Bitcoin, symbol BTC, XBT, is a cryptocurrency, invented by Satoshi Nakamoto as open source software in 2009. It is exchanged directly using an internet-connected device without going through a financial intermediary. Bitcoin works differently than typical currencies. There is no central bank and the system is based on a peer-to-peer network protocol on the Internet. Bitcoin supply is automatic, limited, distributed on a predetermined schedule based on algorithms. Bitcoins are issued to mining computers to pay for verifying Bitcoin transactions, writing them into a distributed ledger in a peer-to-peer network, through blockchain technology. This ledger uses Bitcoin as the unit of account. Each Bitcoin can be broken down to 100 million smaller units called Satoshi. Fees may apply to new transactions depending on network resources. In addition to transaction fees, miners are also paid for creating blocks that contain transaction logs. Every 10 minutes, a new block is created with an allocated amount of Bitcoin. The number of Bitcoins allocated per block depends on the uptime of the network. In May 2020, 6.25 Bitcoins are allocated for each new block. The rate of inflation will have to 3,125 Bitcoins around May 2024 and continue to have every 4 years until a total of 21 million Bitcoins are issued in 2140. In addition to Bitcoin mining, users can obtain Bitcoins by exchanging them for Bitcoins when selling other currencies, goods, or services. Bitcoin is a typical cryptocurrency, first-born and most widely used in e-commerce. Businesses tend to want to pay with Bitcoin to minimize costs. By February 2021, Bitcoin's base currency is valued at more than $805 million, the largest cryptocurrency by market value. In October 2020, Bitcoin hit the $10,000 threshold. After that, it increased to around $65,000 in April 2021 and is oscillating daily. For example, on December 25, 2022, Bitcoin price again fell to only $36,701. 1. Who created Bitcoin? In 1998, a computer engineer named Wei Dai published an essay on an anonymous, distributed electronic money system which he called B-Money. Although B-Money was never officially created, on August 22, 2008, Dai received an email expressing interest in the idea from someone claiming to be Satoshi Nakamoto. That month, Nakamoto also registered the domain name bitcoin.org for the first time. According to CoinMarketCap, Nakamoto writes that he wants to expand the ideas into a fully operational system. More than 2 months later, on October 31, 2008, Nakamoto posted an announcement in a cryptographic letter describing expand the ideas into a fully operational system. The article titled Bitcoin, a peer-to-peer electronic cash system was the first descriptive document on Bitcoin. Nakamoto outlines how an electronic payment system will work using cryptographic proof instead of trust and will eliminate the need to use a financial institution. It works on cryptographic proof. Transactions are computationally impractical to reverse, will protect sellers from fraud, and a normal escrow mechanism can easily be implemented to protect buyers. The article also outlines how blockchain will be used to maintain a ledger of transactions. 2. Who is Satoshi Nakamoto? According to The New Yorker, so far everything about Satoshi Nakamoto's identity remains a mystery. Satoshi claims to be a Japanese man in his 30s, but prior to the invention of Bitcoin there is no record of any coder by that name. Many people have tried to figure out Satoshi's identity through inference. In fact, Satoshi's online communications took place in English, where Satoshi reported only a few typos. Nakamoto also mainly uses British English spellings and British idioms, although the first post announcing Bitcoin was written in the Anglo-American language. According to Wired, Stefan Thomas, a Swiss programmer, tracked the timestamps for all of Satoshi's Bitcoin forum posts and said it's always been quiet between 5 a.m. and 11 a.m. Greenwich time, London time zone, UK. Since this lull occurs on a daily basis, it shows that this is when Satoshi is sleeping, not simply asleep due to work. In addition to his identity, many people speculate that Satoshi Nakamoto is very rich, so how rich is he? It is estimated that, between January and July 2009, Satoshi Nakamoto mined over 1 million BTC. According to Decrypt, this not only makes Satoshi the best miner in the history of Bitcoin but can also mine a lot more if he wants to. Satoshi is said to deliberately restrain and limit his mining speed. If Satoshi really had 1.1 million BTC, that would amount to over $41 billion, January 2022. This makes Satoshi the richest Bitcoin owner and one of the 40 richest people on the planet. However, there is no evidence that Satoshi transferred any of his vast wealth. Although many claim to be behind the pseudonym Satoshi Nakamoto, as of January 2022, no one has proven they have the private key of any address believed to be owned by Satoshi. This is considered credible evidence of Satoshi Nakamoto's identity. 3. Satoshi Nakamoto is anonymous or agent of the CIA? Some have suggested that Satoshi Nakamoto is a nobody, maybe dead, or that revealing his identity will do more harm than good. Norwegian news agency CCN reports that the CEO of BitMEX, Arthur Hayes, a BTC margin trading platform, is among those who believe Nakamoto is probably dead. According to Protocol, it is also possible that the identity of Satoshi Nakamoto was used to represent a group or subdivision of cryptographers. In this case, it will be even more difficult to prove the identity of the creator of Bitcoin. One conspiracy theory even claims that Satoshi is a CIA agent. Meanwhile, others argue that Satoshi Nakamoto has left Bitcoin. While the true identity of Satoshi Nakamoto is still unknown, some people still insist that Satoshi Nakamoto is a real person. 4. Bitcoin mining backs the rise of fossil energy. On August 6, 2010, a member of the Bitcoin Talk forum posted about their concerns regarding the energy input to maintain Bitcoin. According to CoinCapMarket, with the title "Bitcoin Mining is Thermodynamically Perverse," the author of the article thinks that there is a fundamental paradox in wasting energy and computation, in creating victory in mining or Bitcoin mining. In simpler terms, to earn Bitcoins, people have to add to the blockchain, which requires computing exact random numbers to solve a complex equation that the blockchain system has generated. The more computational power spent, the more efficient the Bitcoin mining process. But the energy needed to power said mining does not come from the air, but from real energy. It is this in China that has recently been banned from Bitcoin mining, as it backs the rise of fossil energy, the resurgence of coal mines. Concluding the article, the author thinks that Bitcoin is really ruining wealth in the sense that it wastes less energy to create a digital object than the resources invested in it. For example, in 2021, the amount of energy required to mine 1 BTC is $12,500 in the same fashion as an electricity bill. 5. The future of Bitcoin. According to Bitcoin News, upon leaving the Bitcoin community, Satoshi Nakamoto gave one final message to the crypto community. Accordingly, on December 12, 2010, Satoshi told developers that they had to do more work against denial of service (DOS) attacks. Satoshi Nakamoto also noted that the software is completely defenseless against a DOS attack. This is an improvement, but there are still more ways to attack. Satoshi's message is seen as a positive recommendation, but the Bitcoin community continues to deal with DOS attacks. As evidenced by Cointelegraph, in July 2021, Bitcoin.org was hit by a major DOS war that came with a ransom demand. Cryptocurrency exchanges Binance, OKX, and Bitfinex have also reported DOS attacks in the past. and after a handful of email correspondence, Satoshi Nakamoto was gone. Since then, there have been predictions about Bitcoin's future, from the loss of fundamental value to a valuation of $100,000. And ultimately, the future of Bitcoin is as uncertain as the identity of Satoshi Nakamoto. Some facts about Bitcoin.